Good afternoon. Today we are doing online paper solving for second years and the subject is food safety, and we are doing on paper solving, that is 2013 to 14. So first in this we have around 5 questions, where the first question is discuss the various factors affecting the growth of microorganisms along with the growth curve. So as you can see on the board, you find growth curve. So growth curve is generally divided into 4 phases, that is lag phase, log phase, stationary and death phase. Where lag phase is the first phase where the bacteria will get adjusted to the environment. Log phase is the second phase where the bacteria multiplies. And stationary phase is the third phase where during cooking most of the bacteria is killed. And the fourth phase is the death phase where the bacteria which survives will either die or will enter into new product for their survival. Then we have fathom, that is food, acidic condition, time, temperature, oxygen and moisture. So food, you can see different kinds of food such as perishable, semi-perishable and non-perishable. Then you have acidic conditions which we added to make sure we preserve the food for a longer time. Then time, we have to make sure the food should not be kept for more than 4 hours. And then the temperature, which is the danger zone temperature, the food should not reach the danger zone temperature. And next the oxygen, the different kinds of microorganisms such as aerobic, anaerobic and facultative anaerobes. And then the last one is the moisture. Addition of moisture will cause spoilage of food. So the first question is 10 marks and you can refer to the page numbers in the textbook, that is page number 280 to page number 285. Now coming to the second question, that is explain the principles of Haslam and discuss its importance in the food sector. So when you talk about Haslam, Haslam stands for Hazard Analysis Critical Control Point, where it is an internationally recognized system which is used to ensure the manufacture of safe food products. When you talk about the principles of Haslam, there are 7 principles such as number 1, hazard analysis. Second, critical control point. Third, critical limit. Fourth, monitoring. Fifth, taking corrective action. Sixth, verification. And seventh, record keeping and documentation. So first we need to analyze what type of hazard is present in the food, whether it's a biological hazard or physical hazard or a chemical hazard. Once you analyze, you will find a solution to that which is said to be a critical control point. But this solution that you get, it has to be within the limit. Let it be time, temperature or maybe addition of the ingredients, etc. You should always maintain the limit. But when you are maintaining the limit, you should always monitor whether it is within the limit or not. But if you find it is beyond the limit, then you need to take a corrective action. And you need to verify whether you are maintaining the time, temperature, or are we in the limit or have we crossed the limit. Once it is verified, we have to record it and document it so that further any problem arises, we are much more confident in solving the problem. So this is second question where you can refer page number 385. Now coming to the third question, what is food contamination and its various sources? Discuss in detail. Now when you talk about food contamination, you can see generally contamination, any foreign particles which enters into the food is known as contamination. Contamination is of 3 types. One is biological contamination, physical and chemical. Biological contamination includes microorganisms like bacteria, virus, algae, fungus, etc. And physical contaminant includes foreign particles which are visible to our eyes such as glass pieces, stones, plastic pieces, etc. And the chemical contaminants includes antibiotics, pesticides, insecticides and cleaning compounds. Now when you're talking about the various sources, what are the ways by which this contaminants enters into the food? The ways are through human beings, that is through hands, that is by clothing or by pets, sources, various other sources like garbage, using of chemicals, etc. Now for this question you can refer page number 294 in your textbook. Now in third question you have one more option, that is discuss the various methods of food preservation in detail. Now talk about preservation. The most important thing about preserving food is to number 1 kill the microorganisms, Number 2, to make sure that the food can be stored for 1 year or more than 1 year depending upon the perishability of the food. When you're talking about preserving the food, there are different kinds of preservation methods. Number 1, that is high temperature method, then you have low temperature method, then you have irradiation method, then by using various preservatives, and then by using modification of pH. Now for this question you can refer page number 301 from your textbooks. Now coming to the fourth question, explain the following terms. When you talk about various terms, first term is GHP, that is good hygiene practices. Second question is GMP, good manufacturing practices. Third, PFA, Prevention of Food Adulteration Act. Next, fourth, WHO, that is World Health Organization. And fifth, FPO, that is Food Product Order. Now this question carries 1 mark. So if you write just the abbreviation for this, that is enough. Now coming to in fourth question, you have one more option, that is differentiate between food additives and adulterants. Give examples of each. Now talking about the food additives. Now when you talk about the food additives, the additives are the substance which are added into the food which acts as a preservative, at the same time gives a proper color, texture, flavor to the food products. When I talk about the food additives, there are 16 different additives which are added into the food. Now talking about the adulterants. Adulterants are something which are intentionally added into the food to give the color, texture, flavor, etc. When you talk about the food adulterants, the most important adulterant which is used is MSG, that is monosodium glutamate, which we call it as Ajinomoto. Now, when you talk about the adulterants, you have various methods to detect these adulterants. Now take an example, if you want to check the presence of starch which is added in the milk or the presence of water which is added in the milk, first you have to do this technique. For example, you want to know about the water present in the milk. Take 1 drop of milk, put it on the slide, put it on the flooring and just slide that flooring. The moment you slide it, if it's a pure quality, then automatically that will flow slower, leaving a trail on the floor. So you can understand that's a good quality of milk. In case if it doesn't leave any stain and flows faster, you can understand that it's addition of water into the milk. Now talking about the addition of starch in the milk. When you talk about the starch, take a small quantity of milk in a test tube, add iodine solution, shake it and leave it for some time. If the color changes to blue color, it indicates the presence of starch which is added in the milk. So for this adulteration as well as food additives, you can refer page number 335 to 338, and for adulterants you can refer page number 358. Now coming to the last question in this 2013-14 paper is discuss food packaging along with classifying packaging materials. Okay, when you talk about the packaging, the most important thing for packing a food is number 1, it acts as a barrier, number 2, physical protection, and number 3, makes the packaging more attractive and secures the packaging, so wherever it is you're transporting, it is much more convenient. There are different kinds of packaging that generally we do, which is semi-rigid, rigid as well as flexible packing. And in this you have to talk about various packaging, that is a PET as well as a PEP, etc. For that you can refer page number 412. Now the other option for this fifth question is discuss the role of Codex Alimentarius and World Health Organization in the food industry. So when I talk about Codex Alimentarius, it is the Codex Alimentarius committee is being made by FAO, that is Food Agriculture Organization, and WHO, that is World Health Organization, joined together and made this Codex Alimentarius, which is an international standard which includes various laws included in this. Next, coming to World Health Organization, which talks about the health benefit as well as the food safety standards as well as the food labeling and different kinds of techniques related to the food safety. So for this question you can refer page number 369 for Codex Alimentarius, and for WHO you can refer page number 372. I hope you have understood this paper that I have discussed. In any queries or anything, you can always contact me. Thank you so much.